What's the highest crime one can commit on this earth? Genocide. Probably blowing up the whole planet, or at least poisoning, irradiating it to the ruin of all living things. It's hard to imagine anything that a reasonable global civilization would want to discourage more. You mean like from a morality perspective or by law? The latter depends on where you live, and the former depends on your beliefs. Personally, anything against children is number one fucked up for me. Rape, kidnapping, etc. Snoop Dogg just has to shoplift or something. Anything illegal on the top of Mount Everest. Not paying for WinRAR. Bombing hospitals IMO. Using nuclear weapons, genocide, child rape. Toilet paper hung so it rolls off the back. Murdering someone at the International Space Station. The highest crime was committed by Anne McClain when she signed into a credit card account of her ex-husband while aboard the ISS space station, which also holds the record for first human crime in space. Kidnapping of an infant, then torture, then rape, then murder, then necrophilia, all on a videotape. Edit: as far as I know there isn't a video that depicts the aforementioned events. The closest is titled Daisy's Destruction Video, isn't publicly viewable, but it does exist. Looking up what happens in it is your own decision, but thread with caution. Not petting an animal in any video games that allows it. Easy. Mass genocide with use of special cruelty and torture. Making the victim suffer as much as you can. Genocide. I think crimes against humanity would be up there. Unvirgining the virgin oil. Microwaving fish in an office break room. People are talking about child abuse, rape. Don't get me wrong, it's horrible and anyone who does it is scum of the earth, but lumping it together with things like genocide and nuclear war that kill or seriously harm thousands or millions of people seems a bit strange. Now, if we were talking mass rape, that's a different story. Steal nuclear codes and launch it on different countries. Nuke war begins. Release of a self-perpetuating biological weapon, maybe. It's like the genocide that keeps on giving. Not saying buying stretch when your dog gets off the couch. Well, according the government, non-payment of taxes. They don't really give a fuck what we do to each other, as long as we pay. Legalize nuclear bombs. After WW2, the prosecutors had a problem. The things the Nazis did were legal in Germany then. So they created the idea of crimes against humanity. Crimes against humanity are crimes which are so terrible that there isn't the need for a law which forbids them. Harming children in any way. Guys, please do not call authorities, but I stayed up past my bedtime. I know it's truly horrible. Honestly, child rapists are just irredeemable. On a small scale, basically what the BTK killer did. On a large scale, genocide. Eyeball fetish. Genocide. Or parking in front of someone else's driveway. I could go either way. Murder. There's a reason it's considered the most serious crime a person can commit. Making kiddie porn. Logically speaking, murder. Calling football soccer. Animal abuse. Imagine how heartless you need to be to harm them for no reason. Child sexual abuse. Eating without a table. Mass genocide. Genocide. Genocide, I guess. Genocide. Telling your dog they're a bad dog. Cartel members torturing people. Muck duck. Space murder. Mixing pineapple tidbits, chopped bacon spam, and cut green beans into SpaghettiOs. Changing the thermostat settings. Saucer my dad. Knowingly poisoning the planet for short-term profit. Human trafficking, especially that involving children. It's the epitome of how low humankind is for greed. Snoop Dogg commits genocide on top of Mount Everest. According to my HOA, leaving my trash can visible from the street. I hope there's a special place in hell for those religious types who don't get their kids medical attention for simple things and their kids end up dying. Ketchup on pizza. Pedophilia. Existence, committing this crime will lead to the death penalty. Genocide, probably. War crimes. Not breaking a Kit Kat to eat it. I think through a judicial perspective it is probably war crimes, crimes against humanity. Through a moral perspective it is probably murder, torture, rape, pedophilia, etc. stuff like that. Probably genocide. Milk before cereal. Philosophically, what denotes a crime is what society deems as wrong. What we agree as wrong could be right when it comes to another society. But no matter where you come from, people who don't return the goddamn cart to the corral is the highest crime you can commit. Smoking Snoop Dogg's entire stash on the summit of Mount Everest while broadcasting all state secrets at once while inciting universal violence and insulting all deities in the same transmission. And misgendering people too like it's nothing. First-degree felony. Quite literally. It is listed as the highest crime with worst punishments. Not petting an animal that keeps cuddling you. Probably that thing that Hitler did. Or driving slow in the left lane. Being in a position to prevent mass suffering and choosing not to for personal gain. Infant rape. Definitely worse than murder. Exposing corruption at the highest level apparently. Destroying the environment for short-term profit, with the knowledge that you won't live to see the long-term effects. Harming a child or animal. Taking a packet of chicken from the cooler at the supermarket, then deciding you don't want it and putting it on the nearest shelf. Take all the drugs and steal a plane. Truly the highest crime. Probably on the ISS, as the moon technically isn't on Earth, so space stations are really your only bet, unless you find a way to steal a satellite or something. Oil and gas companies knowingly heating our atmosphere to the point of the sixth mass extinction in Earth's history, with a strong likelihood of civilizational collapse within the coming decades. All for immediate profits for the shareholder, ahead of their own children and future generations. Oh, and actively spreading disinformation and lobbying to slow a transition from their products. The funneling of wealth away from middle-lower class, into the already stacked pockets of the one. Specifically the politicians selling out their own citizens and all future generations of those citizens for a buck. I bet 95% of all suffering and crime are almost directly connected to this. What the Israelis are doing in Palestine. Mass torture, like Guantanamo Bay. Does being French fall under crimes against humanity? Anything involving children. Anytime I hear a crime against a child, my mind goes to a dark place I didn't know existed. I don't think those people have the right to live. Smoking marijuana at the summit of Mount Everest. I once saw this video of a cat at a train station sitting on top of the ticket turnstile, and of the dozens of people that walked through, only like 2 petted her. I have never known peace or happiness since. Ignoring the Wikipedia donation request, year after year after year after year. Killing someone on top of Mount Everest. Take it or leave it. Child rape.